What up, YouTube? So I thought I'd do this week's episode on Game of Thrones again. So this week's episode, Game of Thrones, and I'm still talking about how terrible it is gotten since the show has taken over the books. Pretty simple for hardcore fans and for even like movie critics and movie lovers who make movies and understand how movies work. I almost can say that even they wouldn't like the new shows. I mean, yes, it has really good cinematography. It has interesting battles and action scenes, and obviously you get to see like pretty cool CGI with the dragons, the White Walkers, etc. But it doesn't really still follow the story that we all come to agree. So I threw out a tweet, and a lot of people called me out on it. My tweet was that this week's episode was terrible. Crow's dragons must fight fast and speed of light to get from Eastwatch to Dragonstone ? And this one guy, so a lot of people complained, saying like no, oh, you clearly saw day, night, day, therefore 24 hours, it was done within a day. Another one wrote, who gives a shit? It's effing television. In which I replied, people with brains do. And then I wrote, I'm sorry, just so that he can feel that a little bit special at the end. I am sorry if you don't have a brain. But yeah, so to obviously answer the people who are saying that, that I believe that it happened within the 24 hours. So first of all, and this is where obviously you have to break down the episode, we clearly see them leaving and we're walking for a distance through the past Eastwatch. So on the other side of the wall, we see them walking towards some time, and then they finally get to the battle. When they finally manage to capture him, that's when they start to hear the walkers, and they tell. I already forgot Gandry. I want to say, told him to run and to run to the Eastwatch. So he runs off. They start chasing them. They get caught on the little island with a lake frozen over. The lake collapses. It goes so they got caught around evening. The lake collapses. It goes into night. So let's just say they got at 5 o'clock. Let's just say 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. They got caught. It goes into night. So at 6 in the morning, it's 12 hours. Let's just say around noon, so 12 hours plus another 6 till noon. That's 18 hours. When he throws the rock and they start to fight, let's just say they fought for an hour. That's 19 hours. Definitely isn't 24 hours, but even if it was 24 hours, fine. Essentially, to say, so realistically speaking, it was like 16 hours, 18 hours. But let's just give them the 24 hours. Okay. Now, next we look at maps. So we have maps, and like if you read on it, it says he will make you expert in Westeros. Really doesn't. You really have to go into detail with all these maps. But however, or you can do what one fan did in 2015. After reading all the books, he really sat down trying to work out all the distances and maps based on everything, and he came up with approximate miles between each place. And he's actually really credited. A lot of people use his distances nowadays because he is probably the closest thing that we actually have to knowing the difference, that obviously the space between each city and each land and each kingdom, I guess. So taking his thing, and he's actually pretty good because where is it? So he goes, for instance, he's at Castle Rock to Chaos, 12 miles by sea or 100 miles by land. Castle Rock to Deep Den, the Gold Road, 240 miles. Deep Den is due north of. So he's really really good. So for instance, Case to Faircastle by Raven is only 480 miles. By walking, it's 560. So he gives you like even approximate estimate, like by ravens or by even like by foot, which is really good. Well, there was another one where he did it from the north, I think, by water. So he's got by water, by ravens in some of them things. So yeah, for instance, Winterfell to Castle Black by Raven is 600 miles. Winterfell to Castle Black by King's Road. So obviously you have to move around the woods and adds 50 miles, 650 miles. So taking all of this and looking at the maps, really looking at all these maps that you have here, so you can take any of them apart and seeing how they're positioned. Where are we? So seeing where you have the Dragonstone and we have the wall, and also taking consideration that hypothetically, if we can draw the most shortest point from point from Eastwatch to Dragonstone, not having to put in this, and that Raven can fly in a straight line, and then same with the dragon on the way back can fly in a straight line, so not deviating a little bit to obviously get the bearings correct. I would ask, like, looking at it, it works out to be around 1900 miles. Because like of that line, 1900 miles is just an average. Like if you take like whatever, but I would say it's around 1790, between 1750 and 1790. So between 1750 and 1800 miles is the distance between Eastwatch and Dragonstone. Not to mention how many, like whatever the period of time the walk from Eastwatch up north. Saying that, so we look at when we go to how fast do birds fly. It says here most cruise speeds are 20 to 30 miles mile range. Saying that though, obviously Falcon can stoop at 200 miles per hour, and then it says 100 miles per hour may be the near normal, but obviously it depends on the size and the length of flight. So obviously one bird can't fly for 10 hours at 100 miles per hour. So saying that, let's just say these ravens, because they're in fantasy world, live in fantasy, they do fly 50 miles per hour. So if we get a piece of paper and a pen, let's just pretend we have it right here. So we get paper and pen, and we go. So I take mine. So there is another. It's really funny because like I'm not the only one that actually done it. On Reddit, there is one guy who came up with 2000. He said, let's call it 2000 miles apart. And his logic is since ravens do not travel in a perfect straight line. Which, okay, makes sense, but obviously I'm saying it's less. So I'm saying it's 1790 miles per hour. And I'm giving these ravens 50 miles per hour speed. So that means, so if we go 1790 divided by 50, it gives us 35.8 hours. So that raven's got to fly for over a day straight just to get to Dragonstone. Over a day straight. Does that make sense to everybody? So that's already, that whole day is gone. Not to mention that Daenerys has to get that raven, read the paper, get on her dragon, and then fly back, get ready for it. What's that over? Sorry, my grandma just in the other room, she was sneezing. And let's just say that the dragon, let's just say because it's a dragon, I'm not sure what he said here. Let's see, I didn't read his thing because obviously I don't want to copy what he says. I don't think he talks about dragon speed here. So no. Okay, so I think he doesn't have anything about dragon speed here. I think it just says like for rate. So it says here. So this means the dragon could travel from Eastwatch to Dragonstone in 40 hours without sleeping or eating, drinking. Give it hours for worth of rest along the way pushes him to a 2-day journey. But yeah, so he has no idea about dragons. So let's just say dragon can fly at a speed of, I don't know, it's a pretty big dragon. Obviously, it's going to fly much quicker than it's a really big dragon, so it's going to fly much quicker than a raven. So let's give it to him 200 miles per hour. So dragons can fly at 200 miles per hour. Again, doesn't really matter here. But if we go 1790 divided by 200, that gives it 8 hours, 8.95 just to get to Eastwatch. Now from Eastwatch, she has to fly over and actually locate them behind the wall. And so let's just assume that takes her another 40 minutes. That pushes it over 9 hours. So this is already over 42 hours. So 9 hours would be plus 40 minutes is what, 0.85, no, 40 minutes, it's called 0.4. That pushes to 9.35 plus 35.8 gives you 45, gives you 45 hours. So it gives you 45 hours of flight that it would take her to fly there. And again, remember, this is assuming that the Raven travels 50 miles per hour, which it probably doesn't. And it's assuming that obviously once the Raven flies in, there is no delay whatsoever. It just sweeps it right into Daenerys' hand. Daenerys sees it and she's ready on the dragon. She's like, okay, let's get out of here. Boom. Assuming there is no gaps in between, which is ridiculous. Well, we also not take an assumption the fact how long did it take Granny to get back to Eastwatch to write the note and for the note to be actually sent out. So there's obviously little times there that's coming around. And we clearly see that they weren't there for 24 hours. So this is my problem with Game of Thrones. Obviously, some of you people will obviously say this is only a TV show, he gives a shit like the other guy. But at the end of the day though, when this was the book and when the show was made around the book, these things didn't happen. Like you had like characters go missing for like 4 episodes. You actually had the feeling of time passing by. But the reason why we as an audience didn't feel it is because we were too busy, obviously seeing what was happening with the other characters. So, for instance, when Tyrion was going to the Night Watch to Castle Black, we might not see for 2 episodes because we see what Jaime was doing, we see what Ned Stark was up to, what Sansa was up to, what Robb was up to, what Bran was up to, and only then we see Tyrion again. And that gives us the assumption, okay, we haven't seen him for 2 whole episodes. We have no clue as to how much time has passed since we last saw him, and that allows us for this to be more realistic and have a more deeper meaning to it. Whereas with this one, the writers, they just don't care anymore. Like they're literally like, it feels like, for instance, I'm not a writer there, but it really feels like George R. R. Martin obviously told him, like, you cannot kill Jon Snow until maybe the last episode of the last season finale. He might die, for instance. I don't know. He might not. And he says, like, obviously, like, spoiler alert right here, you have to show that the dragons can be turned. That's the other thing. People are going crazy about it. Oh my god, I did not see the coming. Are you kidding me? How did you not see the coming? We've seen them kill humans and humans get turned before. In this episode, literally this episode started with them killing a bear, a polar bear, which was a White Walker polar bear. So we obviously know this, and like they're white horses. So we know that anything that they kill gets turned unless it's burned. So why would anybody, like, as soon as it died, I'm like, okay, like, I was literally waiting for it to actually turn then and there, and then to have a battle between the 2 dragons against the ice dragon. I was waiting for that to happen. And then like when it didn't happen, okay, probably it's going to come back in the next episode. But they didn't even like let it roll up, wait for a little bit. They just showed it to you right then. It was a spoiler. Or was it the cliffhanger? Like, oh, what are they pulling out of? What are they using chains for? And that's the other thing. Where did these magical, such huge chains come from? Like, not to mention the whole battle seemed really ridiculous. The fact that the White Walkers, they surrounded them instead of actually just like go on them. And then saying that though, like when you see zombie movies, because essentially what these what the White Walkers are, they're kind of like zombies. When you see zombie, they're marching, they all grab on you and like bite you anyway. These guys are kind of like, well, more or less attacking 1-on-1, 2-on-1 up until near the end. And then in the end, they kind of like try to go, but still like the writers pulled them back, like whoa, we can't let any of these guys die. These are our main characters right now. We have to save their death for season finale. We have to make sure that they have more impact that way. Or maybe like these ones have to live out till next season and then die probably in like the last war. Either way, like I think like people have to realize that if you keep on giving excuses for TV writers to make fools of yourself, you are actually setting a precedent for terrible TV films and movies and everything that's wrong with television. Like, people don't get it, like, oh, there's nothing good on TV. But, yeah, the reason why like we love, we love so-called reality TV show, which none of them are really reality TV show. They've been all kind of like, I guess, exposed as scripted shows somewhere, way or another, is because you are watching it. Like, if you didn't watch it, if you turned your TV off and if you didn't watch it, and if you didn't show support, or if you wrote back and saying this is bullshit, then obviously they would have to like start thinking about, okay, we can't keep on doing this. People are turning away. People are complaining. Complaints don't mean good for us. Then we have to think of a way to write it better, and that's when things are going to get better. But if you don't complain, they don't care. If you sit there and say, oh yeah, this is awesome. You see the dragon burn? If you see, this is where you sit there and you say that, then you're gonna get worse and worse. Then season 8 is gonna be worse than this one. In season 8, you're gonna have like, I don't know, Jon Snow died 3 times in one episode, and then come back in 3 different locations. You're gonna have Tyrion pop up everywhere at once. You're gonna have him start off in Castle Rock, but then like next minute he's talking to Jaime Lannister in King's Landing, and at the same time advising Sansa in Winterfell, as well as killing Littlefinger in the Eyrie. And you're gonna be like, it's so what? They don't tell you how much time's gone past each one, but it's all gonna be done in one day. Because he'll be like, oh, okay, this is Monday, better get it all done by Tuesday. And then next week's like, it's Tuesday, and all it's done. You'll be like, oh, yeah, maybe, it could have happened. But no, it couldn't have happened. Obviously, the hardcore fans are gonna like put it through like this guy did. Maybe go a little bit overboard the way he did, but yes, it's up to everyone else to obviously pitch in as well. So that's my week. This is my my video for the week. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you guys have anything to write, feel free to write in the comments. And I'll see you guys next time. Cheers.